Hey, good people, how you doing? David Taub here. Hope all's going well, and I hope your guitar journey is going famously. And today I have for you 10 tips on how to keep a band together. A band is such an awesome thing. It could be some of the greatest times of your life you can have when playing with a band, and playing live on stage is one of my favorite things to do. It's just so challenging to keep that band together over time, to keep everybody happy, to keep the drama down, right? It could be one of the greatest things, and at the same time it could be like a kindergarten class, right? It's like you're married to four other people or three other people, as many in the band. So there are some things that I've learned over the years. I've been in lots of bands, cover bands, original bands, and there are some things that I've learned that I'd like to share with you that will hopefully maybe help keep things rolling in your band. You have to really do it, experience it, learn from it. Don't repeat the same mistakes and keep moving forward, right? Set your goals in your band, in your life, and go out and achieve them. A band is kind of like it's a relationship, basically. It's just like your interpersonal relationship with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever. The band requires a lot of those same things. Successful bands: communication, good communication, honesty, respect, trust, right? Empathy and compassion. It is about relationships and how you deal with people. And really what it comes down to is about, in the band, about being inspired by each other, right? And growing together. And that's what's really awesome about being in a band and creating or playing amazing music. My number one tip, and I've said this before about bands, is that when you're choosing band members, choose members who you like being around. Choose members who you want to be friends with. You're going to be spending so much time together. It's so important that you actually like the people and can relate to the people that you're going to be with, right? Pick band members that you want to hang out with. Number two, about the running of the bands. A lot of people run bands by democracy and they put everything to vote. And personally, I don't think that's the best way to run a band. Democracy is awesome, if you're a country, right? But for bands, I think bands tend to run better when they're run by consensus or unanimous vote, right? I think that's what keeps everybody in the band engaged. See, it's so important when you're in a band that you make it feel like everybody has a voice. Make everybody feel that they're a part of it. Make everybody feel they're responsible for it, that they all are taking part in this amazing thing. So you always want to give everybody, the respect and listen to their ideas, even if you don't necessarily agree with them, right? But you always want to give everyone a voice and make everyone feel like they're heard. What this does is it gives everybody in the band a sense of ownership. That's where that good listening skills come in, to make sure you're listening to everyone in a band. The third thing on my list is not necessarily applicable to all bands, but you might want to discuss and or limit the use of drugs and alcohol. Not an issue in some bands, big issues in other bands. And I'm not saying don't do it. That's personal decisions that everyone has to make. But if you see that there might be some issues with some of the members, it's something that you might want to discuss, something that might need to be limited, because that has been the cause of many band breakups. And you just don't want to, let your feelings escalate about it. You have to talk about it and discuss it. If you want some free guitar lessons and some free jam track to Jam Track Coach, it's awesome. I'll send you 6 free jam tracks and 2 ebooks. Have all the scales diagrammed out, soloing strategies, minor, major key, also what to try over each track. It's awesome content. Send it to you for free. I'll put that link in the description box below. The fourth thing is about the atmosphere in rehearsals and atmosphere, when you're playing together, is you want to create this atmosphere where all the band members, everyone involved, feel comfortable taking risks and feel comfortable bringing their ideas forward, and make it like an open forum, not just a shut down militia where one person just is dictating everything. Then again, you're going to have musicians in the band that are going to feel disconnected and they're not part owners of the band, have no ownership, and they're going to get distraught, and eventually they'll end up, leaving, or there's going to be drama. You want to make it so everybody feels like their musical ideas have value, the money aspect of it. And I think the money should be split evenly. Now, I'm not talking about if you're an original band and someone's writing the songs and they're getting, you're getting royalties for that. That's different. But I'm talking about generally. Most things, I think, split evenly. It will keep the drama down. It will keep everybody feeling good about things. One suggestion I do have as an incentive thing, if everybody's trying to book gigs, to push everyone a little harder to book gigs, I would say give the person that books the gig and makes it happen an extra 10%. of that particular show. I found that works really well, and it keeps everybody involved and motivated to try to go out there and book shows. The sixth thing I think is important is to touch bases with all the members and see how the band members are feeling about things. Just like in relationships, just checking in, communicating, right? Same thing in a band. You should be doing that in relationships too. Check in with all the members. Hey, how do you feel about the project so far? Are you liking it? What do you like? What do you dislike? How are you feeling about the music? How do you feel about where we're at after X amount of months? Tip number 7, I think, as far as the business aspect of the band, I think there needs to be a separate meeting to discuss business issues that should be separate from rehearsals. Rehearsals should be focused on practicing and getting tight as a band or creating music. That should be a separate entity than the business aspect. You got to divide the business work up of the band evenly between all the members. You have to divide it up. Everybody has to take a part. It can't be just one person doing all the work. Like one guy, you're going to handle all the Facebook posting, and you're going to handle, managing all the social media and the Twitter accounts. And one guy, you're going to do all the marketing materials, and you're going to go to the printer, and you're going to get the posters, and you're going to get the business cards. You're going to, keep track of that. And one guy, you're going to be responsible for the email list and sending out the invites and sending out, all the press releases, or sending out the invitations for the shows. And everybody has to work on booking shows. Everybody has to, be knocking on doors, dropping off, demos, emailing people, but everybody should be working on gigs. But you got to divide the work of the actual marketing, of the actual business end, of the money end of things, right? The band, the business side has to be divided up evenly. And hey, if you get a second, please subscribe to the channel. That really helps us. It keeps the videos coming. We'll let you know when we have more videos out there. So hitting that subscribe button, we really appreciate. Egos. I think with bands, it's best to check the ego at the door. With musicians, you're always dealing with strong personalities, and there's going to be personality clashes in the band, and things are going to come up. That's part of it. Just like there's differences, and that's what makes us all, unique, and makes it great, right? We all bring our difference to the equation. The other thing is, when dealing with personality clashes and problems, is you have to deal with it when it comes up. When it rears its ugly head, my advice is to deal with it. Because if you don't, what happens is things build up over time, and you don't say anything. And this time, you don't say anything. And before you know it, you explode, and it comes out sideways. And when it comes out sideways, that's when things get said that hurt, and that's when things get said that people regret. Just like in a relationship, if something's bothering you, have something on your mind, you can't just keep burying it. You got to talk about it. You got to bring it out. You got to discuss it, right? You got to communicate. Otherwise, it comes out sideways. It's going to come out, right? It's going to build up, and you're just going to blow your top, right? So deal with it when it happens, and move forward. The 9th thing is, and I can't stress this enough with bands because I see it a lot, is don't wait for it to come to you. You got to go out there and you got to get it. You got to go out there and get the musicians. You got to go out there and get the gigs. You got to go out there and market your material. You got to go out there and book the studio time. You got to go out there and really push it and make it happen. All too often with bands, I see them just sitting back and waiting for it to happen to them and wondering why it's not, and being pissed that the world isn't providing for them, right? They're not providing any opportunity for it. You have to make it happen. That's the bottom line, man. That's how it works in this world. And a lot of bands fail because of that reason. And a lot of bands fail, especially because of the business end. They don't want to handle the business stuff. It's hard, man. It takes a lot of work, right? It's hard doing this. It's hard being a musician, and, it's hard being in a band and keeping it rolling. And I would fucking love it if I could just, show up at a gig with my guitar in hand, plug in and play. And that's it, right? No, that would be awesome, but there's a lot more to it than that. And I wish it was that easy, but the truth is it just isn't. You have to make all these things happen. You have to go there and get it. You have to do all the work, and it has to be divided up evenly. You just can't sit back and wait for it to happen to you, or it's never going to happen. And the last thing, the 10th tip, probably know this already, but I think it's important for bands to set goals, both short-term and long-term goals. Check in with them every week to 2 weeks and start crossing them off the list and make sure they're done. And goals don't have to be these huge things. Your long-term goals can, but short-term goals are important too. Like you might just want to set a goal like saying, hey, over the next month, we need to get 200 Facebook likes, right? Because promoters and venues are looking at our Facebook page and they need to see we have at least a couple hundred likes, right? So each member of the band get 50, get your friends, whatever, get 50 each. We'll have 200. Let's knock that out. Another goal this week, let's make sure we get our posters printed and we start hanging them up, 4 weeks in advance of the show all over, all over town. This will give us enough time so people will see them, help canvass the area, or whatever, but short-term goals. And then have long-term goals, of course, too. I hope these tips help you. I wish you the best in your band endeavors. I'll put lots of links in the YouTube description box. Check out some more of my videos. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget that. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching. I wish you the best. Take care and rock on.